All right, let's go to the United Center right now and bring in our very own Mario Tirabassi. Hey, Mario.
What's up, guys?
What was the message at the end of the game? Let me guess. We got to play simple, put the puck on net, finish strong, all that stuff.
You cheated. You watched the video.
I did not watch the video.
Yes. Pretty much all of that messaging tracks. Taking care of the puck, being able to continue off of a fast start. Plain simple. I mean, all the things that have been problems with this team all season this was another game that we've seen a bunch this season. Luke Richardson talked for 10 minutes after the game, and he's honest. He's pretty open with what he tells us in those press conferences, but it's all things that we've heard before at different times this season. This was another Blackhawks game. It's the best way to put it.
It sure was. Yeah, it definitely had a very familiar feel as the game went on. Boston scores that third goal, and I think they're just a collective. All right, it's just a matter of filling out the description of the podcast with the final score, but it's over. It feels, once a third goal is scored by the opponent, the game just feels over.
Well, and you get the Dickinson goal late in the second period, right? So you cut it to 3-2. Not the prettiest goal, but who cares? It went in. It's a goal. It counts all the same. So you feel like you carry a little bit of momentum into the second intermission, into the third period. But there's just nothing in this team that gives you any belief right now that carrying momentum into an intermission, into a third period means anything, because they don't have the horses to do anything with it. And the few guys that you say could carry this team, it's been inconsistent, like Bedard and Vlasic, and the way Reichel's been playing. Like, he didn't play a lot tonight, but given the way that he's played this season, like, he's one of those guys that when he's on the ice, like, he's trying to be effective. And for the most part, he has been, but it's just not enough. And when you have so many new players come in, and a lot of guys from a free agency class are being relied on to, shoulder the load, to not make it all fall on Bedard. And most to all of them are underperforming expectations. Like, there's really not much that this team can do to kind of pull itself out of those deficits. And, Greg and I were talking after they scored that first goal. It was just like, it's 7 of 8 games that they've scored first over the last, stretch of time. And one win out of those games? Like, they just don't have the ability to maintain good stretches of play. I don't know if it's a skill thing. I don't know if it's a mentality thing. It's probably a combination of both at this moment. We talked with Teuvo Teravainen after the game, and he spoke to he told Ben Pope earlier this season that hey, my confidence is not where it should be. It's down. It's hard to get out of those slumps, and same. It's the same. It's been the same. There's been nothing to break that slump for him or for this team collectively. So I don't know what they're looking for to break them out of that slump, because they're just kind of in it right now, and I don't know what gets you out of it.
Well, you mentioned Lucas Reichel, who has been one of the more effective offensive players. Team low 10:25 of ice time tonight. That includes 137 on the power play. Maybe it's time you just look at this thing and say, all right, you know what? This is where we're at. And while we're better defensively and penalty kill's good and the power play has been better, like, let's just start giving kids some looks and see what we can get from Reichel with more ice time. And you just try, I don't know. I know we want to have consistent lines, but you can have consistent lines with different people on them. I just, the veterans on this team that you are relying on so much are really not contributing right now. And if things start to turn around, then maybe you reevaluate it and give them back those chances again. But, like, why not give Reichel some time on the top 6 and just see what he can do with a little more ice time? At this point, every game is banging your head into the wall saying, where's the offense going to come from? I don't know. No one seems to know. And they're not making any trades. They're not making any call-ups. So give some of the guys that are showing up consistently every game more ice time. That's all I can think to do. Like Craig Smith, 1104. He's been probably your most consistent forward. Him and Ryan Donato have been your 2 most consistent forwards all year. It's not giving him more ice time isn't going to give him more talent, but at least he's playing hard. At least he's earning the opportunity. I don't know. It's just short of shaking up the roster one way or another. That's really the only option they have right now. And I think that's why show after show after show, the 3 of us are pleading for some sort of shakeup.
Yeah. There has to be something different. They've gone through many lineup changes. They've tried so many different combinations. Not, we're down to probably our last 2 or 3 line combinations and defensive pairs that we mathematically could have had this season that we haven't tried yet. That they haven't tried yet. So do you do that? I don't know. I still feel like what is in this locker room right now doesn't have it. There needs to be a shakeup to the makeup of the locker room. Tonight in the AHL with the Rockford Ice Hogs was a much more fun game to watch and track tonight than this game was. And there's 2 or 3 guys on that roster that I pick one of any of them, if not all 3, and they would provide some sort of different look to this roster. You can make a coaching change. That definitely shakes things up in the locker room and the makeup of the team. That's a big jolt to a team. I just don't know if that's going to happen in season. I don't foresee that happening in season unless there's any kind of tone change from Kyle Davidson, which it doesn't seem like there is. So I don't know what the difference comes from. So it's you're in a spot where you're kind of just, like you said, you're banging your head. Hopefully the wall gets softer before your head does.
We all silly like the mayor.